Hello.
Good morning, ma'am. How may I help you?
Good day. I'm planning to establish a coffee shop and I need some engineering expertise. Since I saw your construction commercial, I would like to inquire to your company.
Sure, ma'am. I'd like to help you with your coffee shop project. What specific aspects are you looking to discuss or work on?
Well, first off, I need to find a suitable location, duration, and schedule of the project. And other than that, sir, do you have any advice or suggestions on what factors to consider in building this coffee shop?
Sure, ma'am. You will need to look at zoning regulations, accessibility for customers, utilities availability, time duration, schedule, and potential environmental factors like drainage and soil stability. Have you already identified any potential locations?
Yes, sir. I have few in mind, but I'm not sure which one will be the best.
Okay, ma'am. May I invite you to have a meeting together with my team to discuss your coffee shop project?
Okay, sure.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. May I get your contact number and email for further discussion?
Sure. I'll just send it to your email, sir.
It's my pleasure, ma'am. I'm looking forward to work with you on this exciting project. Thank you and goodbye.
Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our progress meeting. Let's dive into the details of our critical path analysis to ensure we're on track to complete the coffee shop construction.
Good day, I'm eager to hear about the progress and any updates.
By the way, ma'am, I'd like to introduce you to our project team. First, we have Christopher, our experienced foreman, who will oversee the construction process with precision and expertise.
Hello, it's nice to meet you, ma'am.
And meet Angelyn, our talented interior designer, who will transform your vision into a stunning reality, ensuring every detail reflects your unique style.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be working with you, ma'am.
And last is Miss Vivelyn Minorias. She will manage the design and installation of electrical systems, including lighting, power distribution, and communication systems.
Good day, ma'am.
Wonderful to meet you and looking forward to seeing the expertise in action.
Let's start by reviewing our critical path. We have identified the sequence of tasks that are essential for meeting our deadline of completing the coffee shop in 37 weeks.
As we can see, the activities are interconnected with some having zero slack time, meaning any delay in this task will directly impact the project's completion date.
Let's break down the critical path. Activity A involves soil liquefaction and has an early finish of 5 days. Activity B, pouring the foundation, must start immediately after A and has an early finish of 15 days. Similarly, Activity C, framing the structure, must follow A and has an early finish of 18 days.
Following completion of Activity B, we have two parallel activities, B and E. D involves framing and has an earliest finish of 22 days, while E involves installing utilities and has an earliest finish of 18 days. These activities converge at Activity G, which has an earliest finish of 26 days. It's clear that these activities are critical for staying on schedule. What about the interior finishing? Activity F, interior finishing, starts after Activity C and has an earliest finish of 27 days. This is essential for installing wires and managing the electrical systems, also creating the ambience and aesthetic of the coffee shop. After Activity G, we have two remaining critical activities, H and I. H involves finalizing utilities and has an early finish of 30 days, while
I involves completing interior designs, elements, and has an early finish of 37 days, making the end of our project timeline.
I appreciate the detailed breakdown. It's reassuring to see the progress mapped out so clearly.
Our team is committed to ensuring each critical activity is completed on time. To prevent any delays in the overall project schedule, we will continue to monitor progress closely and address any potential challenges proactively. Absolutely. Communication and collaboration are key to our success. We'll provide regular updates and remain transparent throughout the construction process.
Thank you all for your dedication and professionalism. We're confident in your abilities to deliver our dream coffee shop on schedule.
It's our pleasure, ma'am. We're excited to bring your vision to life.
Today, we're going to discuss the project scheduling and finding the critical path. Here are the following procedures that we need to be followed in performing the critical path method networking. First, construct project network. Second, perform forward and backward passes. And third, determine project completion time. Fourth, calculate slack values. And last, state the critical path. What is critical path? The critical path method, or sa CPM, is a technique where you identify tasks that are necessary for project completion and determine scheduling flexibilities. A critical path in project management is the longest sequence of activities that must be finished on time in order for the entire project to be complete. Here, we will use the node convention table. A is what the activity is being described. T is for the statement activity duration. ES is the earliest start time. EF is the earliest finish time. LS is the latest start time. LF is the latest finish time without exceeding the project time complexity.
This table shows three categories, which are activity, predecessor, and duration or time. These are the set of activities that are needed to plan and accomplish to complete the coffee shop construction project. In here, as we can see, activity A in the project has no predecessor, so we will go ahead and draw activity A at the beginning or the start. Next is activity B, that is a predecessor of A, which means activity B depends on activity A. While activity C, which is also a predecessor of A, that shows both activity B and activity C depends on activity A. While activity D and activity E, which are both a predecessor of B, therefore both D and E are getting carried by activity B. While activity F is only dependent to activity C, while activity G depends on both activity D and activity E. And also, activity H is a predecessor of E and F, while activity I is a predecessor of both G and H. Since I has no successors, activity I will go to finish. Here is the network showing the letters and time. We will be constructing a project network doing forward and backward passes using activity nodes. But first, we will do the forward pass to find the earliest start and earliest finish. In here, in activity A has no predecessor, so its earliest start time will be automatically 0. Activity A has 5 weeks to be completed, therefore we will add 5 and 0, which gives 5 for the earliest finish. In activity B, which is a predecessor of A, always remember to bring the earliest finish from the predecessor into the earliest start of activity B, which is 5. Activity B has 10 weeks to be completed, therefore 10 plus 5 is 15, so 15 will be the earliest finish for activity B. Now, activity C needs activity A to be completed before it can start. Since the earliest finish time for A is 5, then the earliest start for C is also 5. With an activity time of 13 weeks, activity C will have an earliest finish of 13 plus 5, which gives 18. And also, activity D depends to activity B. So D will be getting the earliest finish of B, which is 15, and it will be added to the weeks in activity D, which is 7. Therefore, 7 plus 15 gives 22 for the earliest finish in activity D. Next, activity E is also dependent to activity B. So E will bring the earliest finish of B, which is 15, and 15 will be added to the weeks in activity E, which is 3. Therefore, 3 plus 15 gives 18 as the earliest finish of E. Next activity is F. F is dependent on activity C with an earliest start of 18 coming from activity C. 18 will be added to 9, therefore 9 plus 18 gives 27 as the earliest finish for activity F. While in activity G needs D and E to finish before it can start. Since the earliest finish time for D and E are 22 and 18, we are choosing 22 because 22 is the highest finish time. In here, the highest earliest finish is activity D, therefore the earliest start for activity G is 22. 22 will be added to 4, therefore 26 is the earliest finish for activity G. Activity H is also dependent to activity E and F. Since the earliest finish for activity E and F are 18 and 27, we are getting 27 because it is the highest finish time between the two activity. Therefore, 27 will be the earliest start for activity H. Activity H have 27 as the earliest start and 3 for its duration. Therefore, 3 plus 27 gives 30 for the earliest finish of activity H. Next, activity I, which depends to both activity G and H. Since the earliest finish time for G and H are 26 and 30, we will be choosing the highest finish time, and that is 30. 30 will be the earliest start in this activity, and it will be added to 7, therefore 7 plus 30 gives 37. Meaning, activity I can start at 30 and finish at 37. Since activity I have no successor, activity I will go to finish. Moreover, activity I is the last letter and have the highest earliest finish time with 37. We can say that the project completion time is 37 weeks. In essence, the project completion time is the highest of the earliest finish time at the finish node.
Now let's do the backward pass. Since the project completion time is 37 weeks, the latest finish time for the activities at the finish node I has to be 37. And activity I cannot be completed in longer than 37 weeks. Next, we obtain the latest start time by subtracting the activity time from the latest finish time. For activity I, the latest start time will be 37 minus 7, that gives us 30. Now, activity H only one successor, which is the activity I. Now let's get the latest start time of 30. The latest finish time for activity H is 30. Thus, the latest start time for H will be 30 minus 3, that gives us 27. Activity G also same with activity H. We just need to get the latest start time of activity I, which is 30. So the latest finish time for activity G is 30. Thus, the latest start time of activity G is 30 minus 4, and that will be 26. Now let's move on to the activity F, which only one successor, the activity H. Let's get the latest start time of 27 and the latest finish time of activity F is 27. Thus, the latest start time for activity F is 27 minus 9 is 18. Now, for the activity E has two successors, the activity G and activity H. Their latest times are 26 and 27 respectively. As a result, the latest start time for activity E has to finish as to be 26 in order to activity E to start. In doing the backward pass, the latest finish must be the minimum of the latest start time of its successor. That's why the 26 is the latest finish time of activity E. Thus, the latest start time for E will be 26 minus 3, which gives us 23. Now, for activity D, only one successor, the activity G. So the latest start time of G will be the latest finish time for activity D, and that will be 26. Thus, the latest start time for D will be 26 minus 7 will be 19. For activity C with one successor of activity F, therefore, the latest start time of activity F will be the latest finish time of activity C, and that is 18. Thus, the latest start time for C will be 18 minus 13 will be 5. For the activity B has two successors, the activity D and activity E. Their latest start time are 19 and 23 respectively. And what I've said earlier that the latest finish time will be the minimum of the latest start time of its successor. So the latest finish time of B will be 19. Thus, the latest start time for B is 19 minus 10 is equal to 9. And for the last activity A has two successors, the activity B and activity C. And we just need to get the minimum latest finish time of activity C, and that will be the 5. Thus, the latest start time for A will be 5 minus 0, that gives us 0. The backward pass is now complete. Let's do now the slack for the activity defined on how long the activity can be delayed without extending. It's calculated as LS minus ES and EF minus LF. For the activity A, we have 0 minus 0 and 5 minus 5, and that is 0 slack. The slack for B is 4. The slack for Z is 0. The slack for D is 4. The slack for E is 8. The slack for F is 0. The slack for G is 4. And the slack for H is 0. And the slack for I is 0. The activities with 0 slack are called the critical activities, and they form the critical path, which is the longest path in the network. So the critical path here is A, C, F, H, and I. And this is the critical path method analysis to ensure that we're on track to complete the coffee shop construction in 37 weeks. And that's it for this video. Thank you and have a nice day.
Rose, ano nakaboses?
Walang boses, Rosa.
Nakapatay. Nakamute kanina nagsalita.
Wala talaga mahina.
May ba? Nakamute na. Yan, okay na.
Kapit.
Meron. Ayun, meron na. Isa pa.